I have been at Montcrest for 15 years. This is my 14th year as a teacher. My very first year here, I was volunteering in Mr. Bailey's classroom when he taught grade 6. And I don't know if you guys remember Miss Porchelato, who was Miss Schultz. And she taught grade 3, and I volunteered in her class as well. So I had a bit of a crazy story because I went to McGill University, and when I finished, I ended up going to Washington, D.C. to do a master's degree in learning disabilities. And what I learned when I was doing this master's degree in learning disabilities is that kids who have what we call learning disabilities are kids that they have average to above average intelligence. They're all smart as or smarter than kids their own age, but when they're in school, they just learn in a different way. And I found this completely fascinating because you could find kids who are really struggling with school, but were so smart. And it was funny because I never particularly enjoyed school very much. And you know, a lot of the times when you're in school, you think if you don't do well in school, you're not going to do well ever. But school is not always representative of where, you know, if you're not academically successful all the time, it doesn't mean that you're not going to be a successful person. And I really liked hearing that there were ways to work around things that were difficult for you so that you could have success maybe in a setting that wasn't necessarily suited to your learning style. And so I really enjoyed teaching. I taught in the States for a year. I taught grades 7 and 8 actually, math and English. And then I decided that I would come home because my visa ran out and I had to come back. So I came back to Toronto. And when I got here, I found out that I couldn't teach in Toronto. So I had 2 master's degrees in special education, but that the Ontario, the school board did not recognize my degrees. So I had to go back to school. And so I had already been a teacher, but I had to go back to Teachers College and volunteer to do my student teaching again. So I ended up here. And the way that I ended up here was, as I found out that I wasn't eligible to teach in Ontario, I started looking for other ways to work with kids who had learning disabilities. And one of the places that I ended up was a place called Ford and Associates. And Ford and Associates is a great place where some kids go and they get tutored and some kids get tested. I don't know if some of you guys have ever been tested, but they take you and they do all sorts of puzzles and number quizzes and it's really where they find out how you learn. And when I was there, the woman that ran it, her name was Louise Ford, she told me that her husband, Bill, was on the board of a small school called Montcrest. And she thought that with, you know, what I had learned in the States and my interest in working with kids with learning disabilities, that Montcrest might be a place for me to look into. So I called up Montcrest and I had a tour with Miss Maxwell. And I couldn't believe how amazing this place was. I couldn't believe how happy everyone was, how great the teachers seemed, how comfortable everyone was. It just seemed like such a great place to be. So when I decided that I would definitely go and get my teaching qualifications in Ontario, and I went back to school and I asked if I could come do my student teaching here. So I was with Mr. Bailey, which was really fun when he taught grade 6, and Miss Schultz as well. And then there was a job that came available in one of the small classes the next year, and very fortunately for me, I got the job and I've been here ever since.
So amongst all the awards, what would you say is your personal favorite?
Good one. My personal favorite. That's a hard one. I really like the honor pin because anyone can get the honor pin. I mean, everyone can get all of the awards, but you just work at it and you get your points and you get your honor pin and you got something there, and it's, you know, many kids can get it in a year as opposed to just one student being recognized for something, and I just think that part is fantastic.
And how exactly does the honor pin system work?
Okay. So the honor pin system is from kids in grades 4 to 8, and you get points for participating in co-curricular clubs. So, and the amount of points that you get depends on the time commitment. So if it's a one-term club, you could get 5 points. If it's a full year, I think you can get up to 15 or 5 a term. Is that what it is? So yeah. So you can collect points throughout the year for each of the co-curricular that you participated.
What do you like about Montcrest School?
I love that it is full of happy kids, and that no matter what kind of morning I'm having or what kind of day I'm having, I can always either come to school, or if I'm at school, I can leave my office and I know I'm going to run into happy kids playing, learning, having fun. So it's the kids here. That's what I love best.
And, can you describe a memory you have about Montcrest you'd like to share with?
Sure. Yeah. You know what? I think it would be the question that you'd asked Ms. Silverberg about her first memory of Montcrest. When I came to the school to get a job here, I was interviewed on a Saturday, and so I came in and the school was really quiet, and Ms. Danson was here, and she had a team of people that were meeting people for the job I was applying for. But there were no kids here, so I went into the library and through the empty building and up to the library, met with this group of people, and then left, and then sort of went through and got offered this job, which I took, but I still hadn't seen any kids at the school. And the very first day that I came in to meet sort of a big group of kids was on Kite Day. So my first memory of Montcrest was Kite Day, so a day just today. But I got off the subway and I walked down the street and I saw the parade of kids with their parents walking up Montcrest Boulevard. And they were holding the big ceremonial kites, and everyone was so happy. Now, every day's not Kite Day, but it was the same thing Ms. Silverberg said. I saw that bunch of kids and what a wonderful community, and I knew I was coming to the right school.
So what's your favorite award?
My favorite award is the AIM Award. Both the AIM Award for the homeroom classes, the AIM Award for the subjects, and the Elaine Danson AIM Award. So AIM stands for Attitude, Improvement, and Motivation. And I think it is, we can certainly recognize excellence. And I think we recognize excellence with MVP trophies in sports teams, and we recognize excellence with all of the academic awards. But sometimes people that are doing their very, very best and really, really working hard and asking their teacher questions, getting their work done early, and really engaged in what they do are still going to, their marks on their report cards are going to be here, and other people, their marks are going to be here, sometimes without doing as much work. And I love that we can recognize the with the AIM Award, the attitude, improvement, and motivation. And we used to only have AIM Awards in the subjects in grades 7 and 8, and then a few years ago the homeroom teachers and the teachers decided that an AIM Award should be given in every homeroom in grade 4, 5, and 6. And I know for a lot of kids that win AIM Awards, that is one of the best things that happens to them when they're at school. On graduation day, the Elaine Danson AIM Award, which is given to usually a kid in grade 8 who has really, really demonstrated overall attitude improvement and motivation across all the subjects. That is a really fitting award to name after Ms. Danson, and that's really a special one for me. I love that award.
In what ways does the house system affect the student leadership?
The house system, one of the real ideas for the house system, Ms. Silverberg talked about student leadership and the idea that every student should have a place where they can be a true leader in the school. Every grade 8 student can be a real leader in the school. And if you think about how many kids speak in assembly now compared to used to a few years ago, and how many, you guys leading events like this today, I think it's really been wonderful for us. The house system, one of the ideas behind the house system was to let older kids get to know younger kids. You know, you tend to spend all day with the kids in your grade or in your division or on your floor of whatever building you're in, but we wanted a way for grade 8 kids right down to JK kids to get to know each other. And so the idea was that the houses are split, like, you know, vertically rather than horizontally, and that in that our oldest kids, like the oldest siblings in a family, like they have responsibilities, and so the house system really allowed us to do that and to say to those kids, you have responsibilities here, and the other younger kids in your house are going to be looking up to you because they have something in common with you, and that's the house that you're in. So it's been really good for that.
Why do you think it is important to recognize certain students' hard work?
Because that is the nature of our school. I think the nature of our school is recognizing that everybody's different and that is fine. And if you learn differently, that is absolutely fine. What we ask of kids is to do their very best all the time and to really know what it feels like to work hard and to know what it feels like to ask questions and to be open to learning. And when you recognize people that are working hard in addition to people that just do really well, I think that models that for lots of kids and gives everybody something to aim for. I am very proud of standing for character, and I'm very proud that that an idea that a lot of adults in the school had really resonated with a lot of children, and the idea that respect, responsibility, integrity, compassion, and courage are words that I think every student in this school knows and understands and tries to bring to their work, and all the adults do. So I'm very proud of standing for character.